Welcome, everyone. You are about to embark on a journey through the universe as you indulge in this extraordinary essence of enlightened, empowered, evolved. Let the show begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Just in time. Greetings, everyone. I'm Luke Bryan Smith, and welcome to Enlightened, Empowered, Evolved, where we educate, motivate, and liberate you through enlightening dialogues, empowering music, and evolving content. I know everyone is doing well, and everything is unfolding perfectly. I'm excited yet again, and you know why I'm excited. I love speaking and engaging in dialogues with amazing people from around the world, and this is no exception today. I have my next guest is a grief coach dedicated to helping individuals navigate the complex journey of loss and healing and a whole lot more, and we'll get into it. But without further ado, allow me to introduce to you Mehr Said. Did I say that right? I want you to say it. It sounds better when you say it.
Yeah, thank you so much, Lud. I am Mehr Sayed. Yeah, you
Yes,
got that
yes,
right.
there you go. Mehr Said. I just want like to say before we get started is that I am a firm believer. I believe that time is one of our most precious assets. And for you to choose to spend even a segment of your time in the history of your timeline here with me on Enlightened, Empowered, Evolved, I just want to extend my sincerest gratitude to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having me here, Lud. It's
Yes,
a pleasure, truly.
yes, and it's amazing. I have to highlight that I'm speaking with you all the way from Pakistan. You're in Pakistan. That is
Yeah.
amazing. And as I was mentioning to you prior to this, is I am so thankful. And people have heard me that have listened to my podcast before. They've heard me say this and express my excitement and my gratitude in regard to having this technology that we're able to connect with each other instantaneously around the world. I'm so thankful. It's
Yeah,
amazing,
that's true.
amazing,
That's incredible.
amazing. So, my hair, let's get into it. You know, you're a grief coach. Okay,
Yeah,
let's just start there. Give us a little build up, a little backstory as to how you became this grief coach.
yeah. Again, I have to thank you again, Lud, for giving me this opportunity. And yes, I would be more than willing to share my story. I am an entrepreneur whose journey took a transformative turn after the sudden death of my husband 4 years ago.
Oh,
And this profound experience led me to discover my true calling in grief coaching, where I guide individuals towards finding renewed purpose and meaning in life. And I believe that I know for a fact, like having experienced grief myself, I know how isolating it can feel. So I'm here to offer support, guidance, and a listening ear. And for I think the first 2 years, everything was a haze. My life was a mess, and I didn't really know what would become of me as a person who had a life with my husband for 2 decades, and he was gone just like that. But then there was a moment which I call a moment of transformation, which led me to find my calling in terms of helping people who are walking a similar path and letting them know that you don't have to do it alone.
right.
You can reach out, you can ask for help, and whenever you are ready, because this is an extremely important thing that people who are grieving, they are able to reach out whenever they're ready. So yeah, since that, I have been on this journey. I've been on this mission of helping people through loss, because this is the time of their life when they're not in their best state, and any help, any sort of help, it's definitely better for them if it's there. So yeah, that has been my mission ever since.
Wow, that's amazing, and thank you for sharing that. And I know this may sound redundant to some listeners, but to me, the most powerful people in any field, any goals, passions, are those who've went through the actual experience that they're helping with
Yeah,
themselves. Because I
yeah,
believe at that point, you're so much more not only knowledgeable, but you're more passionate about it because you know the pains, you know the adversities that people face from, loss. And that's so amazing that you have decided to focus more on being a coach for those that have lost people because everyone has lost somebody. And
Yeah.
yeah, so that's just wow. Yeah,
Yeah, Lud, what resonated about coaching with me was that coaching is about moving forward. Like whatever point in life you are, whatever situation you are, you can define you. Well, in this case, around my work, I help people find a renewed purpose. This means that whatever point they are in life, they can. Well, they're allowed to set new goals. They're allowed to dream. They just have to be at that point of thinking about themselves, putting themselves first, prioritizing themselves, which when people are grieving, they do not. They do not think about themselves. They're thinking about that loss, that grief, and the so many other feelings of like maybe sadness, guilt,
right,
and yeah, so many other disturbing feelings around grief. And in this whole process, people forget who they are, what their
right,
purpose in life is,
right.
and they find it very difficult to move on, to move forward. So that is basically the thing that I do my little part in trying to make them feel better.
Yeah, that is actually very interesting that you say that because even from my perspective, and not just what I've seen, but I myself, have had to learn, uh, very diligently to cultivate, not to attach myself so much to someone else that I lose myself. Do you see what I'm saying? Uh,
Yeah,
yes, we're going to go through grief when, and this might sound easier said than actually done. It takes work, but just like you said, you rung a bell with me. You said, they're focusing. We tend to focus on that person more and not ourselves. We still got to look out for ourselves because we're still here in the flesh. So, oftentimes people just give up, and there are situations where I've heard, where someone so close to someone else passes away, in the physical, form that soon after another person, you know, their spouse or whatever passes
yeah,
away as well. So that's we can pretty much use uh, just logic to say that they've connected themselves so deeply to that person that they've actually died when that person died as well. And if
yeah.
someone like you can help someone, even in a situation like that, that would be pretty amazing because life does, like you said, I listened to all your points. We have to move forward, and you're helping people to move forward and helping to eradicate probably those feelings of hopeless and helplessness when someone passes on, and that's amazing. I haven't encountered, uh, to my knowledge, any other person that specializes, especially in grief, and that's amazing.
Thank you.
Yes.
Lud, the thing is, why people have such a tough time is the thing is acceptance.
Mm.
We have a very hard time accepting a reality that has changed, that has completely changed.
Right.
And to accept the fact that this is a new life where the person we lost is not supposed to be in.
Right.
This is the hardest thing to accept because what we do, we keep on thinking about the time we had with them, and but that was the past,
Right.
being mindful, like focusing your attention to the present. That is the thing we need to do because that is going to make us realize that the reality has changed. But accepting that
Mm.
reality, that's not an easy thing. Again, that's again one of the toughest things about grieving,
Right.
because one other thing, why people have a lot of trouble in accepting again that we miss the version of us that we were when they were around.
Mm.
That is also another thing that we grieve. That person's absence is one thing we are grieving, but we are also grieving our own identity, our own person, that who we were, because we are never going to be that person again, who we were
Right.
around that person. Yeah. So
Right.
that is also another thing that makes it so difficult for us to accept. But then again, what I do, my work is around helping people realize the fact that, this new life, this new reality that you're in, first you have to bring your focus to the now. Because what you're
Mm,
grieving about, it was something from the past, definitely. It was something or someone that happened in the past. And
right.
it's not you today. So today, your reality is that in your life, the life that you're supposed to live, the life that you are in, as
Mm,
hard as this may sound, they're not in it, right?
right.
So grief is an emotion, a heavy one, a complex one. Everyone's journey is different. Everyone's journey is unique. There are no timelines. There are no right or wrong ways. So
Right.
what we can do is we can consciously, now this is a conscious effort, like we all have to do it consciously. We have to in parallel build up positive emotions alongside our grief, because our grief may stay with us for as long as we live, and
Mm,
mostly it does. So what we can do, we can try building positive emotions alongside our grief, and they can start with gratitude. They can start with finding purpose in our life. They can start with creating new meaningful connections. So these are the small little things that, and everything takes time. These things are
right.
also going to take time, little by
Right.
little. And again, like I said, that this journey of grief is different for everyone, because
Yes. Yes.
everyone grieves differently. So
Wow.
yeah, these are the little things that, that can be helpful in helping someone find peace when they're passing through those tough times. Because like you said, that everyone has faced grief in one form or another.
Wow, I just have to say this, and then I'm going to get right back on topic. But thank you for being so easy to talk to, and even without questions, you are basically just giving us insight. And that would have been something that I would have asked you next is what type of grief, what different levels of grief do people go through? But you already elaborated on that, and how can you start to help people without giving too much of your expertise away? And you've helped elaborated on that too, so that is absolutely amazing. And it really connects and resonates with what I was saying too about our identity, how we attach our identity to not only
Yeah,
things but people. um
yeah,
and that's why you've probably heard, I'm not sure, but here in this culture, you hear when someone passes away, someone say, part of myself died when they died.
yeah,
So, yes.
yeah,
So that is that's amazing that you can help, because what I gather from you is that you're not trying to dishonor or or hide how a person feels, or say or tell them that I can just take it away from you and you'll never feel this again. No, you're teaching
yeah,
how to cultivate uh uh
yeah,
uh skills to and feelings and emotions and whatever else is needed to live with it and overcome, and to still move forward
yeah,
without, because it's okay to still have someone in your mind, in your heart. But if it becomes uh so overwhelming that it's hindering you in some way, it's hindering your health, hindering you from moving forward, then we need some help. And especially someone like you that has specialized knowledge in regard of in to help us do this. So that's absolutely amazing. Again,
yeah. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for the kind words, Lute. The thing is that when someone is grieving, what we can do for them is we can start by holding space. And when I say holding space, that means that begins by listening deeply.
mm,
Like, without offering unsolicited solicited advice, validating
let
the
me stop you
partner.
right there. Let me just pause you right there.
Yeah,
That is very powerful, because even I find myself, and I have to elaborate on that, and I'm sure others can relate to this. When people share things, we automatically have this automatic mechanism where we want to fix it. So then
yeah,
we get less listening and more talking. And
Yeah,
really, all they needed was someone to really just hear them out. They didn't ask you to fix it, or unless they're
exactly.
asking you, hey, what do you think? But
Absolutely.
oftentimes people aren't asking, what do you think? They're
Exactly.
just trying to vent, so to
Yeah.
speak, and share. Go ahead. I
So,
apologize.
no, no, not at all. Not at all. You can say whatever you want, right?
Yes.
So the thing is that it starts by listening deeply, and we should allow them to speak. Just speak whatever they want to share, you know?
Right.
And then we can start by validating their emotions, you know,
Hmm.
rather than dismissing them, rather than downplaying them, rather than offering unwanted advice. Just validate their emotions and whatever they're feeling, it's okay, without judgment. And then sometimes we should allow them silence, you know, silence, and instead of trying to fill it with words, with our own words, you know, just allow silence to be. If they want to keep quiet, that's okay. If they want to say something, that's okay. We should listen.
Right.
Basically, it's about respecting their journey, you know? It's
Yes.
not
Yes.
about imposing timelines or expectations. It's just about providing support by letting
Right.
them know that we are there for them. If they want
Mm,
to talk, we will listen. If they want to stay quiet, we'll just sit quietly with them. And we'll
mm,
show up. We'll keep on showing up. Let them know that we are there. We're there in their corner. And yeah, that's that. That's, I think, the approach should be for if you find if you find ourselves in the company of people who are grieving. Yeah.
right. So I'm sure it varies, the amount of time that it takes people to get over something. And do you
Yeah.
find, in your perspective, that with your help, that it's usually it is it usually a certain amount of time that you can help people get over, or is it just always vary, or what
Okay.
difficulty? Oh, go ahead. And then I got another question. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, 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 no. Please don't be. So the thing is, you know, one thing that I have found, which I'm trying to figure out a way. I mean, is there a way I can change that? But I don't know. It's human nature. What can we do about it? It's that sometimes I feel that people who are grieving, they resist help. That's what I've felt. Because help in the sense of
Mm,
like opening up. And that's absolutely okay, you know?
right.
They
A
will
lot of
open up and
times,
yeah.
a lot of
They will
times,
open up. Yeah.
oh, excuse me.
No,
I
no,
was
no,
going to
no.
say a
Please
lot of
don't.
times you just stirred something within me, and
Sure, sure. Go ahead. Go ahead. I would like
a
to
lot of
listen
times
what you
people probably are mixed with so many different emotions, and it can come across as like anger, so then they don't want help.
yeah.
Am I
They
correct to
think
say that?
they think they don't want help.
Yes.
That's what they're thinking. That's what their mind's telling them that okay, it's okay. I don't need to share this with someone. I'm good on my own. I'm good with my own anger, right? But
Right.
you know, that's basically not the best course of action, right? It's
Right.
always
Right.
good to find someone who gets you, who feels you, who knows you, who can probably just listen to you, you know, it's always good. But to each their own in their own
Right.
time. So I just wish and hope, you know, the people are able to recognize that, you know, the sooner they're able to acknowledge that, you know, a little help, a little support can go a long way. So being open to that, which of course I agree. It's definitely not easy to open up, especially when you're grieving, especially when you have lost someone, especially you've had a loss, a life-changing one. You have had someone you love pass away. You see them pass away. It's not easy to manage your emotions after that, especially if it's a sudden thing, you know?
Right.
So, because you know what it is with human nature, we pretend to feel that we are in control of our life, you know?
Right.
We like to feel
Right.
that way.
Right.
But we know how much control we have, right? There are
Right.
some things we can control, but there are some things that are totally out of our control, and death is definitely one of those things we can
Right.
never have control over, right?
Yes.
And you
I like to
know,
say
when, yeah, sure.
I like to say that we're often comfortable with being under certain illusions, and we're okay with that. And when someone takes away that illusion, then we get uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Yes.
you know, with grieving people also, the thing is that the anger or the whatever feelings of grief they find themselves in, they keep on saying, "No, I'm okay. I'm okay. I don't need to talk about it. I'm okay. I'm okay." They keep on telling this to themselves, and you know, they keep feelings bottled up. They don't
Right.
channel their emotions. They don't talk about them. Well, till it comes to a time that it really starts hindering their how they function in their life, you know? So this is why I think it's really important to get help to find someone who you can, talk to maybe. Well, talking is a start.
Right.
Talking is a
Right.
start, you know?
Right.
That's a step that from that on, you build your journey towards healing and accepting your grief and sitting with it and allowing it to just be. Because more often than not, grief, well, it is a lifelong thing because it changes you. And you know
Right.
why it stays with us? Because grief is actually that love, that unshowered love you had for that person, and now you're never going to get a chance to show it to them. So that is
Right.
also another feeling which really makes you feel not so good. And that love, it shows up in the form of grief
Mm.
because now that love has no place to go. So yeah,
Wow.
these are all things related to the human nature, which
That's a,
the more aware we are, or the better we are in a position to do something about it, or maybe let
yes.
someone else do something about it.
I like that. The more, say that again, please. The more aware we are.
Of our feelings, yeah, we can let someone help us, or we can maybe help themselves about those feelings. The more aware we are of our emotional state.
Hmm. I think that's very powerful because that resonates with me because I've, um, I would say, I don't want to use the word transformed, but I've evolved into just being aware of things and just observing and not always placing judgment and just allowing without putting a positive or negative or a do or a don't title to how I'm feeling, so that is amazing. Just being aware first, that's the first step. And then, like you said, next, talking, uh, um, getting that
Whenever
out
you're ready. Whenever
whenever you're
you're ready.
ready. Yes, because no one can
That's
force you to
very
be ready.
important.
Yes.
Yeah.
What comes to mind, and when I hear you speak about people grieving, is probably someone that, and I'm just saying this, you could maybe encounter this sometimes, maybe you don't, but I see this maybe because I've seen it in movies a lot or whatever, or in real life, but I see maybe a couple that have been married for a long time, right? And and then one of them dies, and then the other one's just left there alone. It's like, wow. I always thought to myself, what is it that I could say to a person like that? You know, what is it? And you're helping to, open up uh my awareness that there are things that can be done. Of course you can't bring anyone back, so they have to know that there's nothing even close to what I'm going to help you with or to bring that person back. That is done. And
Exactly.
we have to move on.
In a situation like this, the best thing to I don't know, motivate would be the word, to have someone move forward or see a different life for themselves is to have a purpose.
Right.
First thing is to find a purpose, to find a new purpose, because it's going to be something entirely different. But I have seen people, like I have worked with people who were able to find a purpose which they had maybe in their teens or in their 20s, and then they lost touch with it, and then they got I don't know, busy in the new life that they had with their partner, with their kids, and all that. And then during our work, it came that purpose, their interest, something that used to ignite their passion, and they reconnected with it. And then they started pursuing it again. And that really made a difference. So
Mm,
I'm not saying it's not, I'm not here to imply that it has to be something from your past. No, it can be something entirely new. But the thing is that if you have a purpose, if you feel that this is something that, oh, I can dedicate my time to, and this is going to give me some kind of peace.
right.
So that's a start. That's a start.
Right.
And if if that purpose involves other human beings, like in terms of helping others, in terms of being kind to the people, being there for other people,
Right.
nothing like it.
Mm,
Because this feeling like helping others, other human beings, other people, it's priceless, the people who are able to find a purpose connected with helping other people, that's amazing. But other than that, if it's something as simple as that, making a list and completing that list towards the end of the day, that's also fine. It can be something
Mm,
as simple as that. I mean, the purpose
wow.
doesn't have to be world changing. It can be
Right.
something very simple, but a purpose should be there to keep you going, to
Absolutely.
see, to put things in perspective about your life. Because you know what, Lud, what I have found, I believe everyone has a purpose. Everyone sent on the earth has a purpose, but some
Yes.
people are never able to connect with it. Some people
Mm,
are never put in a situation where they're able to find that purpose.
right.
So some people are, I would say, lucky that they are put in situations, maybe, I don't know, let's call it a test, or maybe some unforeseen situation where they
Absolutely.
are able to really dig in and, maybe reach that purpose and are able to pursue it. So,
Mm.
yeah, that's the thing.
That is so powerful because I feel that, and this is a whole different, uh, no, not different, but according to what you just said, but everyone, I agree, everyone has a purpose, and connecting with that purpose does something very powerful to us. I believe that, to our soul, to our
Absolutely.
self-esteem, to our identity, to our mental capacity, to everything, to be able to connect with that. And like you said, if you're lucky, if you're blessed enough to connect with that purpose, that is going to enhance your life tremendously. And like you said, it doesn't have to be something, that purpose does not have to be something, because oftentimes people, we compare that's life
Yeah.
changing, like, oh, this person's purpose. No, that purpose can just be fulfilling to you, and that's it, that's amazing that you say
And
that.
I can see, and I can see if you find your purpose, you become enlightened, empowered, and evolved, right?
Yes. Yes, this is this podcast, and although I took a hiatus from it for a little bit, I
Okay.
knew that I would come back to do it because this is part of, to me, my purpose. This is, I thoroughly enjoy, and I really do. It's not just for notoriety or monetary gain. It really enhances my life to be able to speak with people and learn, uh, and to be able to be fortunate enough to share the experience with other people. So that is first and foremost. Of course, I think we all have a need in there to be compensated, in some way. Uh, but to me, the compensation, to me, the important compensation is the lives that I'm impacting, and that's first and foremost, because that right there is, to me, leaving, I don't want to use the word legacy, but it's leaving a mark on humanity, of upliftment, and just, yes, yeah. So I love it. So it's amazing. So before we conclude this segment, because we're getting pretty close here, do you have any links that you can audibly share that people can connect with you?
Yeah, definitely. People can reach me on Facebook and Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I also have a YouTube channel by the name of Grief Talk. Yeah.
Brief
So,
talk. Okay.
Grief
So
Talk.
I'm not certain
I
as
believe.
if I have all those links, or if I do. Did you
Yeah, I
send
do.
me? You sent me your
Yeah, I
YouTube
did.
link? Okay,
I
so I
did.
want to make sure that I incorporate that in the description of this segment once it's edited and uploaded. So yes, because I want people to be able to just click on that. And that YouTube channel again is entitled what?
Grief,
Grief
Grief
Talk.
Talk.
Grief
Yeah.
Talk. Okay, so that's amazing. I want to check that out. All
Yeah.
right. Are there any last ideas or anything that you want to leave us with before we wrap it up?
There's one thing I love saying, and this is for everyone, every person on the universe.
Okay.
Prioritize self-care always, especially
Wow.
when you're grieving, especially when you're grieving.
Prioritize self
Self,
care.
yeah.
Wow. Amazing. That should be on a t shirt.
Yeah.
Yes, I can see. Thank you very much. Uh, I
You're
keep
welcome.
messing up your
Yeah.
name,
Meher. Meher.
Meher. Meher.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Meher. I
It's okay.
appreciate you so much, and thank you for sharing your wisdom, your passions, your goals, your expertise with us, and your perspectives. Just I appreciate it very much for you taking the time out to be here today. And I really do, and I look forward to watching this. From
Me
sort of like
too.
a third person, and just
Yeah.
enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
And
thank
thank
you.
you for having me here, Lee. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Yes, yes. And thank you everyone for watching and or listening. Be sure to check out Meher's YouTube channel. It'll be in the link. The links will be in the description. You find her on Facebook as well, especially if you are resonating with anything that she's saying today, especially in regard to grief. Like I said, I know you could look at it as fortunate or unfortunate. We lose people in life, and
Exactly.
we may or may not need a little bit of guidance and help. And she's here to help you through that transition. Appreciate you, everyone. Check out the website at 333empower.com and just hit the like button on this, subscribe. Yes, leave comments, perspectives. I appreciate you all. You help to enhance my experience in doing this. I'm so thankful that I get to do this, and it's not work at all, and to be able to share it with everyone. Thank you very much. See you soon. Enlightened, Empowered, Evolved.